Hey there, people of the interwebs. My name is Brandon Noel, and you're watching the Drawing Show Thing, the series where once a week I sit down and I draw a character from Saturday morning cartoons, or just cartoons in general, and we talk about the importance of that character and where he first came into my life. Today, or this whole month, we've been doing Disney characters because March 25th, there's a local artist showcase in Marietta at the 8-Bit Brewing Company. It's a great brewery out in Marietta off of Lemon Street. On March 25th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'll be there as part of this Disney showcase. And so I've been getting my Disney on, and as a result of that show, it's going to be a fun, family-friendly show. I hope you guys all come out and see it. Now, this week I am drawing Disney's Robin Hood. Just a little scene between him and one of the villains. I don't think that's a weasel. I think it's a giant rat. Not entirely sure. But I don't remember when I first saw this movie. It came out in, I believe, 73 or 76. Before my time, quite a bit before my time. I don't remember when I saw it. I'm not the best with Disney animation as far as the timeline goes, but as of 101 Dalmatians, they tried a new technique to cut costs where they stopped inking the outlines. Like normally, part of the process was artists would draw it, they would lay a cell over it in the ink and paint department. They would ink and then paint the cells and animate the cells. Well, to save time and mostly to cut costs, they eliminated the inking department by being one of the first companies to invest heavily in Xerox. And from that moment on, Disney's animation had a different quality, different feel. It was a little bit rougher. It was less produced, less, there was less filter between. It's my understanding the animators and artists love that. They can just the actual illustration was going to be animated versus a cell, a tracing of their animation. But it gives it this different, rougher quality. As a kid, I didn't know that. I didn't know why. I didn't know why Robin Hood looked different than Snow White or Sleeping Beauty. In fact, I probably didn't even care who the different animation companies were back then. But I know Robin Hood did come into my life pretty early, and is one of my favorite Disney movies. It's one of the few Disney films where you get to see some action. Like, it's a hero piece. You get your Robin Hood. He's they play up the whole fox and Sly as a fox with him dressing up and becoming an old archer, and he's scheming and that prison escape scene at the end of the movie is just incredible. One of the best animation sequences in the history of the Disney company. As a kid, that was more my jam. I was always a Looney Tunes guy, right? So all of a sudden Disney does this movie that's got action and a little bit of adventure and some romance, and that just it's a great movie. Now later on in life I would fall into archery. I do medieval reenactment. I on occasion wear a 100-pound suit of armor and go fight with other sword-wielding maniacs. And as somebody who's involved in the medieval reenactment stuff and a bit of a historian, I would argue that this is probably the best Robin Hood movie there is. I mean, some would say Kevin Costner's Prince of Thieves, which was, again, one of those things I grew up with. I saw that in theaters. I saw somebody got their hand chopped off for a loaf of bread as a 6 or 7 year old. Not the best kid movie. But we're dealing with Robin Hood, right? We're not dealing with actual historical events. So it plays to the folklore. It plays to the myth. It has this weird, like, Dukes of Hazzard kind of, like, you know, let me tell you about a story. You know, like the minstrel. He has this. I don't know why I think Dukes of Hazzard. Maybe I don't even particularly care for Dukes of Hazzard, but it just has that folksy quality to it that they've added to the Robin Hood myth. And I think it gets away from some of the stuffy pomps and circumstances that we have a tendency to associate with Robin Hood. And they do the Maid Marian stuff justice. They do the action bits justice. For a kid, it's a great entry point into fantasy. It's a great starter drug to that kind of form of literature. It's a gateway cartoon into serious history. At least it was for me. And so, like I said, I love the Robin Hood side of things. It's one of my favorite cartoons because it's one of the few times you actually see in a Disney cartoon a sword fight. I mean, there have been many different interpretations of Robin Hood. For me, the Errol Flynn Robin Hood is, of course, the above all, end all Robin Hood. And then just under that is Disney's. Like, it's fun, it captures a lot of the whimsy, and it's Disney. It's kid friendly. It's Disney when they're at their best, when they're firing on all cylinders. I was later on, like I was maybe a year or so ago, I was disappointed to find out that this movie was considered a box office failure for Disney, because I had always seen it as a masterpiece. I always thought of it as, oh my God, it's one of the best movies they've ever done. But it wasn't in the time. And I'm sure it's made its money back since then. But it was, this movie came out at a rough time in Disney's history when they were just trying to find their footing. And they were thinking about canceling the animation division. You have a series of movies that, are not necessarily the top quality Disney stuff. It's not bad. They were just getting their butts handed to them by, like, Don Bluth. And a couple other production companies like Ralph Bakshi and other Amblin Entertainment moved in and was really taking on the Disney motto. And then you get Little Mermaid, which kind of is referred to as the Disney Renaissance from that moment on. But I love these little, I don't want to say lost gems, because Robin Hood's still an incredible movie, and still, but it kind of bothers me to think that this, when it came out, wasn't considered a masterpiece or a classic, because you can see the weak spots. You can see where they're reusing animation from Sleeping Beauty. You can see where, you can see where they're cutting corners on this movie. You can see the Xerox, technique where the characters they're a little rougher. You can see them pencils jumping around a little bit. And I like that. Like, I like that quality in my animation. And so, for me, this movie is one of the best Disney movies of all time. And I realize there are people out there who disagree with that. But, this is my show, and I draw whatever I want to draw. So I drew Robin Hood. And I got to draw a Disney character with a sword. Haha, I win. With that, thank you very much. Have a great day. Remember, March 25th, come on out. Disney Showcase Local Artist Tour, hosted by Ryan's Comics, March 25th at 8-Bit Brewing Company from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.